Okay, so traditionally installers, they go to the website, they print out the DirectWire page, they print out the guides, and then they take the module and they screw it to the bench. They take their interface, they go flash it with the firmware that they need, and then they start doing a pre-wire for all this stuff. And everything is prepped before it goes in the car, then they go to the car and do the installation. With DS4, we're reversing this whole process. So the logic behind DS4 is that you take the box and you go install it in the car before you print out anything, before you flash anything. And one of the cool tools that we've developed within the DirectLink app is just pulling up the wiring guide. So before you had to go through and select make, model, year, now you don't have to do that. You just go find the VIN on the vehicle. There's usually in the B pillar, the A pillar. And then the app is going to go to our backend. It's going to pull down the firmware that's specific to the vehicle that you're working on. It's decoding the VIN number to get the make, model, and year so you don't have to type it in. So most of the time on the firmware, you're going to see whatever the published version is going to be first. Then below that, you're going to see whatever retired version was or whatever the new beta version that's coming up is. In this instance, you see demo because we're demoing this case, so I have some extra firmwares in here for that purpose. So once you select the firmware that you're using, you'll see that you pull up a vehicle-specific guide. And it's vehicle-specific now. It used to be by the firmware, now it's specific to this vehicle. It says 2014 Jeep Wrangler. As you go through this guide, you see a quick table of contents. You see the warning, the do's and don'ts that we legally have to put in the guide. Then you see a list of what the firmware actually does and doesn't do. So everything that's green is what the firmware does. Everything that's red is what it does not do. So it's very clear. Then some tips on the programming and T-harnesses. And then you get right into the wiring diagrams. So the first wiring diagram we're going to show every time is the T-harness. We want you guys to buy these. It's more reliable. It's going to be faster for you. We want you to install with them, so that's the first diagram we're going to show. I understand that some installers are not going to want to use a T-harness. They think they're faster doing the hardwire, so we also show the hardwire. When we show the hardwire, we're also showing the DirectX wiring images, so you know exactly where to connect the wire, and it shows all the wiring that gets connected in the vehicle. There's also some old school installers that just want to see what's the connector on the box, what's the connector in the car. This is old DirectWire style. So we still publish that in here. So you have 3 ways of however you choose to do the install. We're giving you all the documents. Below that, we're showing some information about the accessories and some troubleshooting. All in all, you got 22 pages in this guide. It is vehicle specific. In previous versions of the guides that were firmware specific, we had plus 50 pages, and we showed 6 different install types. So with this being vehicle specific, it's going to reduce the number of times you guys got to look for one install type, and it's going to reduce calls on our side for errors being made during the install by having too much information.